Beautiful. The complete application works, but like I said, that wasn't the reason why we got a hold of the repo. So let's start from the very scratch where we want to create a new project with Create React App. And you just need to navigate where you want to set up the folder. In my case, that is going to be desktop. And we want to go with npx, create React App, and then whatever is the app name. Now, if you do get some errors when you run this, then one of the solutions is to add this at latest. So let's see, I'll try to run the npx create React App, and then hopefully you'll see the errors that you get. And then I'll show you with the latest. But this is ever changing, so maybe by the time you're running this, it's not going to be the issue. So let me zoom in first of all massively. Then I'm going to navigate again to the desktop. We want to go with npx create React App, and I'm just going to call this a jobster. Let me run this. As you can see, it starts spitting back some errors. So the solution is to add that latest. So let me go here with npx create React App. Let's go with add latest, and again the jobster one. Now this is going to take a little bit of time, so I'll pause the video and I'll resume it once all dependencies have been installed. And once the install is complete, let me close the terminal. And before we open this up in the text editor, let's right away get everything that we need from the final. Now, I do suggest copying it, even though you can drag and drop, because remember, if you'll remove those assets from the final one, then of course the project is not going to work. There's going to be some bugs. So we want to go here in the jobster final, or however you call this, to a source, and we want to grab these assets, the folder, and then we want to set them up in the same way, where you want to open up the source in the jobster, and you want to get these assets. Like I said, I'm going to copy this one. So I'll copy that, then copy and paste. Now, this sets it up here in the root, so let me move it. Okay, now it's sitting in the assets. And the same goes for README, where I'm going to navigate back to the final one. I'm looking for the README, and basically I want to set it up here as well. So let me copy and paste. In this case, it says, do I want to replace it? Yep, I do. And once we're done moving the assets, let me close this one. So this is just going to stay here for now. And let me open up the text editor. For time being, I'll set it up side by side. Now that might change eventually. Maybe there's going to be the point where there's really no need to have everything side by side. But for time being, yes, I'll set up the browser window side by side with my text editor. So let me do that. And then same thing. We want to run npm start. And we should have the React boilerplate application. But now we have our assets over here, as well as the README, where again, we'll use this README to basically go through the steps. And I guess the first thing that we can do is some spring cleaning, where in the source, we have a bunch of files that essentially we're not going to use. So let me zoom in and showcase which files we're going to remove. So we're not going to use app CSS. We don't need test, logo, vitals, as well as setup tests. So essentially, we'll just leave app.js, index.css, and index.js. Let me remove all of these files. Then let's navigate to app.js. We want to make some changes here, of course. So let's just remove all of the code, and in return, let's set up a heading 1 with a text of jobster or whatever you want. Now, there's a tiny bug here. Let me add the parentheses. Now, we do still have the error. That's why we need to go to index.js. We want to remove the vitals part in here, as well as in the code. And once we do that, we'll have our standard React application with a heading 1 with the name of jobster. And if you have the same result, we can start working on the next step.